Now we are going to start a whole different area, another chapter, I guess I could say, on what we are talking about today. And these things that we're going to talk about next is setting boundaries leads to power. So a lot of these children that are dealing with spirits in their house or energies or their anxiety, they don't feel like they have the power. They don't feel like they can do anything. So that's a lot of times whenever you'll see them not want to interact or they want to be left alone. So so children, because they are very intuitive, will give off a light energy that attracts spirits, all spirits. I may even go somewhere and come back home and have a spirit that actually is attached to them. Okay. So setting boundaries is not only for spirits, but also for spirit guides and angels. So whenever you talk to a psychic medium who is working full time, they will tell you, yes, I tell them that I need my own life and I do not want to be interrupted and I only open at certain times. Some people will wear like a certain bracelet, and when they put that bracelet on, they are working for spirit. So you have to set boundaries, and the children need to learn how to set boundaries as well. And also, learning how to protect yourself will also give you that power. And not meaning that these children need protection, but just doing something if they're scared and they feel that they're protected, then they're not going to be scared anymore. All right, so let's go on to smudging for protection. So you can use sage or you can use Santo to create the smoke. And I'm going to give you tips to be able to know how to smudge in your house. And I usually do my office where I do a lot of the readings. I do that on a daily basis, but you don't have to do it until you start feeling a lot of energy around and you want to clear it. Then that's when you need to go and take action. So let me do it step by step. Always start at your front door and work through your home clockwise, not forgetting the closets and tight spaces. You can chant a mantra or pray as you walk around the house. As you approach your front door, again, complete the smudge ceremony by visualizing bright light engulfing your house. State your intention one last time by using your prayer or mantra. Leave your door or window open after an hour of the ceremony. This will allow the energy that you do not want to leave your home a place to go. So, whenever you're teaching a parent how to do this, the child also needs to be present because they also need to know that they have control of clearing the house of different energies. So, they need to know that power. So, a child, yes, also needs to be with that parent. So, the next thing that we're going to talk about, I know a lot of you will love, are crystals. And what I did is I tried to find crystals that would make sense for children to use. And of course, each crystal has different frequencies and vibrations, and they help positive and healing energy to flow through our bodies and clear out negative and toxic energy. And that may harm us. And intuitive people may wear them like in a necklace or put them in their pocket to protect themselves or somewhere in their home. Okay. People usually choose their own crystal, and children are no exception. Children also need to choose the crystal that pulls them to them. Okay. Or what they're attracted to. So I'm going to go through a couple of crystals and tell you a little bit about them and why a child may want them. Okay, so the amethyst, this crystal is connected to the third eye and the crown chakra. And it's known to strengthen your intuition and psychic abilities. It is known to radiate calming energy. Great for kids. A child may be able to tune into messages that are sent from the spiritual world by wearing this type of crystal. Due to the purple color found in this crystal, children tend to choose it. I'm one because I'm a February baby and my birthstone is purple. So I radiate to that. All right, so let's look at the Azra. If a child has an imaginary friend or connects with spirit guides, archangels, or ascended masters, this crystal may be beneficial. Okay, so the next crystal is the chariot. This crystal is known for generating an auric shield for psychic protection when children are receiving messages from spirit. It will make them feel like they are not alone, and they will feel that their angels and guides are with them. Crystal experts have reported that chariot crystals can be beneficial for children who are diagnosed with autism, since these children are known to have obsessive and anxious behaviors. This crystal will help them feel empowered and more grounded. Okay, so the next one is the labradorite. Children are usually drawn to this crystal because it is so pretty. It is. It's very colorful and it looks like it's got gold in it. And it's got shimmering colors to the eye. This crystal will keep an aura healthy and the chakras aligned to stay open. When talking to spirit guides, angels, and fairies, this crystal enhances clarity in the messages received. Children will be more self confident when facing negative energies. This crystal is also known to strengthen a child's immunity, which I really like that. Okay, so the clear quartz. This crystal is known for taking in positive thoughts and energy from others, and it helps manifest these thoughts into an existence. While children learn how to manifest things of what they want, they can make wishes while holding the stone. It is a good lesson for children to understand that the universe does listen to our wishes, but it may take some time for them to occur. Oh, patience, patience. The next crystal is the tiger eye. Children with intuitive abilities enjoy daydreaming with the tiger's eye stone. It helps them to be centered and grounded. It helps with self esteem, strengthen your intuition, and the motivation to live with integrity. This crystal is known to protect others while you are traveling to different places, which I really like that. To feel an evil spirit in the house. This technique can be used to cleanse the house of unwanted energy. The child should be, of course, what I said before, present during the cleansing. This technique should only be performed at night. So, what you need is a white bowl, black tourmaline crystal, sea salt, water, and also a mantra or a prayer on a piece of paper. Okay, so these are all the materials that you need. Now I'm going to go step by step, and hopefully it's not too confusing. I know these may be hard to read. So what you're going to do is you're going to pour the sea salt into the bowl and state a prayer, a mantra, as you stir the sea salt with your hands. Pour the bowl full of sea salt into a circle onto the floor. Let me show you what the circle is going to look like. So this is kind of what the circle looks like. And see how it's connected and there's no gaps? So that's exactly what it's going to look like. So then what you're going to do is, okay, have the water nearby that contains the crystal. And the crystal is soaking. Should soak in the water for at least a few days before the ritual. Okay, place the white bowl in the middle of the sea salt that you created. Pour the crystal charged water into the bowl and sea salt into the bowl as well. Stir the water in the bowl as you state your prayer and mantra. And you've already done this once. Pour sea salt in every corner of your house and in the closets. Put the rest of the salt into the water bowl and pray. Sorry, you cannot see this, okay? And pray for a higher power to get rid of the energy that is unwanted. In the morning, sweep up the sea salt. Take the water from the water bowl and flush it down the toilet. Do not drop water from the bowl. Immediately remove the salt from the house and flush it down the toilet. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide myself so that you can read most of it, and then we'll go on to the next. There are a lot of steps that are involved in that. So hopefully that makes sense. But again, that is a really intense ritual, especially if you're having to do it at night. Okay, so let's go on. Now, you may be working with families that are Christians or they pray on a regular basis. So, this can also be a protection for the child and for the family. Prayers for protection. You can do research on a prayer that the child can pick out and say it each night. I have included some prayers that we're going to look at. And one of these prayers is now lay me down to sleep. Okay. And I'm not going to stay line by line, but I'll just take a few minutes for you to look at it. And you always want to find prayers where the child is kind of real easy to remember, and you may even want to sing it. Okay, let me do another one. Okay, so here's another prayer. And what's important to also remember is the parents need to pray as well on a daily basis so that the child will see them pray and know that it's good to pray and that their parents pray, especially if it's something that they want, a ritual that they want to do in their home. So it's really important for the parent to model what praying is all about. All right. And this is one of my favorite ones because, it talks about when you're laying down and you're preparing to go to sleep that he will definitely protect you. Okay, so the one thing with prayers, there are so many benefits when children pray. They are reminded of the blessings that the divine has provided for them. They learn how to be humble, be more positive, embrace experiences, and they learn how to build stronger relationships with others. Praying can also increase a children's focus. As children quiet their minds for prayer, just kind of almost like meditating, their stress and anxiety will be reduced. Prayer helps children to feel protected, which increases calmness and positive life aspects. Forgiveness, oh my goodness, is never easy for anybody, especially for a child. But children can learn how to forgive others through praying. They can also teach moral values such as respect, family, justice, honesty, helping mentality, respecting religion. They learn to never hurt others, not to steal, learning how to adjust and compromising. Once children develop a relationship with God, they will learn how to respect this higher level. They will also, once they learn that prayer is actually a conversation with God, they will feel like God is there to also be their friend. Okay. So the one thing that we really need to talk about next is a lot of children will go the opposite direction, especially as they become teenager. Why they choose that. And this is actually a religion, okay? Why? Satanism. And a lot of them are looking, they're searching for acceptance. They may come from dysfunctional families, like they're raising themselves, and they display social skill deficits. They have psychological disorders. They may have eating disorders, mood disorders, personality disorders, and sexual disorders. They may be seeking for spiritual guidance. And they don't know where else to turn. So a lot of times the reason behind the growth in Satanism a lot of times is a lack of religious education. What are the signs? They'll self mutate themselves. They have repeated unexplained explained cuts or injuries. They may have extreme oppositional to traditional values and drug use. They may experience change of personality, viewing only the bad events in the world, wearing black, having obsessions with death that include suicide, homicides, and sacrificing animals. They may have recreational changes, drug and alcohol involvement, fascination with fire, and obsessed with sex, reoccurring blackouts. So they may be so involved and so stressed that they may have those blackouts and not remember something that they have experienced. So, if you have received information from the family that their child is into a cult and has displayed disturbing behavior, you may need to give the family resources that they can help them through the situation. Make sure that you have the professional tools and background available to them. If not, you may not be the right person to help this particular family situation. But again, give them resources. Don't just listen to them and say, oh, I can't help you. Make sure that you definitely give them resources. All right. We're getting towards the end. All right, so this is my favorite part. We are going to talk about how it's so interesting coming from one topic to the next. So, the next topic is going to be expanding abilities through art. And again, this is one of my funnest because a lot of times children are very creative. They love to use their imaginations. And to be a good psychic medium, you have to have some good creativity. Okay. All right. So, um, art also allows children to express themselves while they are becoming of the world around them. While dealing with emotional and scary situation, participating in an art activity will help children work through these situations while using all of their senses. Intuitive children utilize different art modalities to express what they have seen, heard, and felt while connecting with the spiritual world. These children will have increased self esteem since they are able to express themselves and make themselves heard. Going through the art process while dealing with different situations may open a child's subconscious. New information may emerge through the different styles of artwork. So I know a lot of times whenever people start doing artwork, they are able to put their subconscious and it opens up a whole new world. And they're going, I do remember some more details. So it really opens up the ideas. I guess you relax. All right. So let's go ahead and talk about some of these art activities, shall we? Now, a lot of children will be able to see auras around people. And again, they may not be the same color as what we have talked about earlier. But if a child is talking about seeing colors around a person, you can give them a drawing of a stick figure. And here is a figure of a little girl. And what I did is I just put circles around her. Ask the child to draw the colors that he sees around the person, or you can have the child draw his own picture of what he sees. Then you can discuss the meaning behind the different colors by asking the child how he feels what the colors are trying to tell him about this person. All right, so as you talk about the different colors in auras, you can also talk about what the colors mean for everybody. Everybody has different meaning for different colors. If you have a spirit guide that gives you see the color red and you think your memory or whatever of the color red is anger, then you're going to maybe think about this is an angry situation for this person. So each color is going to have different meanings for different people. So that's why it's important for you to talk to about a child, and make a color dictionary of what these colors mean to them. And I went ahead and put in what each color means. I did some research, and these are kind of pulling all the research together. Um, and again, it may have different meanings for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a few minutes to read it. I'm going to disappear for a few minutes so that you can see all the different colors and what they mean. And you may want to add to it, right? Okay, so then as the child talks about the different colors in their color dictionary, you can also have them represent, like this is the color orange. What does it mean? What does it symbolize for you? So they can like look through magazines. I know we don't really do magazines anymore, but they can go on the internet. They can find pictures. They can take pictures of different things, of things that remind them when they see the color orange. So, in this aspect, with this color dictionary page, somebody may see happiness in this orange, or they may think of the season Halloween or fall. So, they may be thinking of the time of year. Or they may remember, oh my goodness, I remember all those danger signs growing up. So I really think of orange as being dangerous. Or it could also mean that orange brings people together. It's a social color. And the one with the megaphone, that means that I want your attention. I want your attention. So I'm the color orange. Okay, so that's what that megaphone is. So, and you may think of a different symbol looking at the color orange or any of the colors. Creating stories is another way that a child can express what he or she has experienced. And a lot of times it's so much easier for them to create a story than telling somebody about it. So, storytelling is the best method to use when getting information about the situation. If you just ask them, they may go, I don't know, that kind of thing, or I don't know how to express it. So, depending on the child's age and the ability to write words, will determine if you need to transcribe. So, you may have to write the words for the child, or you can also audio record it. When a child tells you about a real life situation, a story, you can learn about how they felt during the event, what the event looked like in the child's eyes, and discuss different solutions that the child can act upon to make the event easier to deal with. Many intuitive children are experiencing supernatural events and they're terrified. And most are all afraid to talk about to someone that is happening because they may be feeling that they may disappoint somebody of what they've experienced. A child can tell an event through a third person point of view and take themselves out of the story completely. To begin the story, you may want to ask the child to draw a picture of what happened, or they can find a picture on the internet. This picture is a concrete way for a child to visualize the story before he or she adds the language to the story. Now, once they get started or they write the story or as they write it, You can ask them some open-ended questions to get them to really think about it, about sharing this story, what they need to include it. Like you can say, how did it happen? Or how did it make you feel? Add some feeling words in there. Can you tell me more about maybe when you walked into your bedroom? Where were you? When did this take place? What time of day? Was it day or night? What can you tell me more about what spirit looked like? What can we do to make this better? What strategy can you use or the character can use to make themselves better in the story? So, adding any type of artwork, drawing, coloring, or other mediums to the story will really increase the value of it. And you can talk to the child, the parents can talk to the child about the story. Okay, so another important thing that we really need to talk about is because these children are intuitive, they are going to be empaths as well. They're going to be able to feel others. And how do we distinguish what I'm feeling versus somebody else's feeling? Am I picking up what they're feeling? And being a child and having to learn your own feelings and then pick up other people's feelings, that can be very confusing. Okay, so there are different things that you can do to help them, different strategies. So, the first thing that you need to do is they need to first know about their feelings, how they feel in certain situations, what it means to be happy, what does it mean to be sad. So, whenever what is really good is using picture books. There are tons on the market. So, picture books are a good place to use with younger children because they show what the person looks like. They show different situations. A person will smile when he is happy or when he is sad. Now, examine different pictures that show people in different situations and ask the child how the people feel in the picture and why. What you can also do is, you can see pictures, the picture of the young man here expressing happy, different emotions. Well, it's really important for them to see somebody else express the same emotions because we all look different whenever we express that nonverbal cue looks different on different people. Now, television shows or movies are also fun ways to incorporate how the characters are feeling in different scenes. So they may watch something, okay, they may watch a child show where you see kids on the playground. And then all of a sudden, there are some boys that come over and bully somebody else. And you may want to freeze frame it and say, how do you think that young boy is feeling being bullied by all of the huge crowd? How do you think they're feeling? So you can freeze frame and talk about it. So it's a great way to teach feelings in social situations. Now you can also incorporate drama when learning about feelings. Okay, so if they're not really understanding about their feelings or somebody else's feelings, drama is an excellent way to practice it. And with green screens these days, oh my goodness, the children can act different ways, different scenarios, and in different feelings in different ways. And it'd be awesome because then they have their own video clip. Okay, so even though an child has an understanding of nonverbal cues to people's emotions, they may still get confused after all of this. Okay. First, they need to learn about their emotions. Then they can look at other people, how they look and how they feel. However, sometimes that has nothing to do with reading energies. So, whenever somebody is looking like they're really happy. Are they really happy? The child may be feeling their energy and they may be really sad. So that is kind of the signals are really confused. So we need to teach the child to feel the energy instead, not really look at the nonverbal language of the smile or the sad, the physical part, but really feel that into the energy, and that will tell you more about the person. But the one good thing about children or they're able to sense or have intuitive feelings when a person is dangerous or should be avoided. Parents should never question their child, them if he is afraid of someone. Empath children should be taught how to feel into a person's energy of just what I said. Using colors is a great tool for a child to explain what he is feeling and what he is picking up on someone's energy. Just like I talked about earlier, red could be used for anger and yellow could be used for happy. So you could always ask the child, what color are you feeling with that person's emotional energy? So there again, working with the child and the colors and the energy, that will really help. So you can also use puppets to act out a scene, like what we were talking about drama, and they can have a little puppet story about, saying, oh, I think you feel, oh, you look happy, but you're not happy. You're feeling very sad. Oh, no, you're feeling angry. I'm feeling angry. So I'm feeling a lot of red energy around you. Okay. I love this right here. So what an empath is. And I thought I have to add this. I have to add this slide. So being an empath, I love this because the divine, you feel, close to the divine, the healing, you're trusting. An empath gives love, energy, pure attention, purpose, kindness, gentle, connect. I mean, grace, faith. I just love all of that. I think it's just really awesome. I'm going to go ahead and put my 2 slides. Okay, so since you know that you are dealing with a child that is an empath, we need to give them skills on how to deal with it on a daily basis. Okay, so, and we need to kind of teach the parents how to help their children. So we've already talked about doing the yoga, the mindfulness techniques such as breathing exercises. Yoga can diminish the stress and it can help them clear their mind. They need to know how to say no and mean no and learn how to examine their own feelings. And right here where the hearts are, that's actually a clock. Okay. And so they really need to watch their time. They should not schedule too much during the day because it seems like kids these days are being pushed to do this and do that and do this and be in sports. And they really need to balance their life. They need to have self-care. They can, because if they're too busy, they're going to become overwhelmed in different situations. Okay. They don't need to be out among a crowd, especially when they feel low energy, or they're going to have a difficult time dealing with that. And many children may, close up and want to run away from that place. So as long as they need to learn how to regulate that energy, and once they feel like kind of like a gas tank, and you can see the fuel going less and less and less and less and less and less, and as the gas tank gets empty, we need to go get some gas. Well, what they need to do as their energy gets empty, they need to go and be in a room by themselves, quiet, so that they can generate that energy and, be by themselves and do something that they love while they're alone. Now we're going to dive into spirit art. All right, so spirit art can be awesome whenever you're connecting with spirit and getting that information and not overthinking and just letting the process happen. It will be a wonderful thing for a child. All right, so the one child that I need to talk about, and she is a childhood prodigy, and I mean can just connect in with spirit whenever she paints. So it's Akina from Merck. And she is, if you have not seen her do any of her painting, she's an American poet and a painter. And So she began to draw when she was only 4 years old. And creating an art piece developed from when she first met God. So when she met God, she was able to take that energy and be able to connect with it and get messages. Now she paints. She may not be able to really understand what she is painting because it is so abstract and may be beyond her years when she was younger. So she didn't know how to interpret her paintings, but she would always paint with candles, fruits or vegetables, charcoal or pencils as mediums to illustrate her dreams and visions. Now, this was when she was younger, and as she got older, she was able to get really art supplies. But it's just amazing what children can find besides drawing and painting on the wall, right? But it is just incredible what she can do. She has painted a picture of Jesus, and I think it's Prince of Peace. And she was like 4, 6 years old when she did it, and it's just it looks like a picture. It is so good, but she's able to just channel with spirit, and she's able to get in that spirit art. All right, so let's talk about automatic writing. All right, automatic writing. Um, Artists create art pieces without using a conscious intention by using dreams. People with psychic abilities, what they do is they allow spirit or higher self to control their hands as they create. While creating automatic drawings, you can also use different clairs as you draw. Frequently, you will just feel or know what you need to draw. Drawing should be easy for children since they have great imaginations. Now, looking at the slide, this is kind of a history for you history buffs. So, automatism was a group of techniques used by the Surrealists to facilitate the direct and uncontrolled outpouring of unconscious thought. So, yes, it is possible for a child to be able to do this. Now, what I'm going to show you is spirit art through doodling. And doodling is kind of one of those things that you do and you don't even think about what you're drawing. Okay. So it is a place to start since there are no goals in mind when someone doodles. I mean, people will be on the phone, doodling, and that's how it all starts, right? And you don't have to think about it. So here is an art project that you can actually get a child to do. You will need liquid, glue, dark paper, chalk, or pastels. So, whenever they first start doodling with the glue, they clear their mind because you always need to do that. Close eyes and concentrate on breathing for 2 minutes. Again, you're clearing your mind. And tell them don't think about anything, just concentrate on your breathing. Okay? Then open. I'm going to do it like I'm telling you. So open your eyes and doodle with the liquid school glue. So you're going to get that liquid glue and see how, I started with just drawing lines. With the marker, you do that with the glue. And just make different loops and lines without planning and allow your hand to flow aimlessly. Let the glue dry. Once the glue is dry, color all of some of the shapes you created by blending chalk colors with your finger. Bold, bright colors work best on black paper. When you are done coloring, add black abstract lines or elements back into your drawing with black chalk to create contrast. You can draw over the glue as well. And so what I did is I did this doodling that you see here, the picture of the doodle. I just used black marker, did doodles, and made a contrast just by using black marker. You can use the same type of technique. You don't have to use the glue. You can use a black marker for children who want to do this. And you look at the different shapes and you think, oh, what can I create? What is my mind going to? And so you can create different pictures. You don't have to stick with one theme. Here I just stuck with monsters and then I did the different lines and the different flow. I just created. And I put peace in the middle of it because That's what was coming in my mind whenever I was doodling, as I felt very peaceful, and I also felt the love that was coming from it. So that's what I was really concentrating on. And there's no rights or wrong when you're doing this. All right, so another one is spirit art is mandala doodle. So this is another type of doodle, but this is using, since it's named mandala, it's all in a circle. So you start to draw a circle first. Okay, once a child draws a circle, then they need to write a word or intention in the middle of the circle. Then they can continue to draw circles around the main circle with different colors or markers, and just add different geometric shapes and pictures to the rest of the page as you think about the word. So whenever I was thinking of love, of course, I thought of hearts. And I did this on my computer. So, but the child can just use markers, pencils, whatever they want to use. And this is one of my favorite things that we're going to be talking about next is autographs. Now, older children may be able to create an autograph. And what they do is it's a psychic reading. Okay, you can use a psychic reading. Harold Sharp, who was a medium and a spirit artist, and used his spirit guide. Okay, so with a spirit guide, was able to create an autograph. And as he was talking to his friends on over the phone, Harold again would kind of scribble, right? So that's how I first started. Then discovering the scribbles were actually meaningful symbols. So he began to incorporate this process into mediumship sessions or psychic sessions. Okay. So many spiritual artists draws autographs into a shape of a mandala. People who draw autographs are able to either read someone's aura where the information is stored. They just get information that way because soul to soul is connecting, remember, and you're getting into their energy. It's, you're getting that information like as on a computer, okay? But there are different ways that an autograph can be created. And let me show you a couple of things. This is one that it tells a story and it's in the circle, and it's almost, I mean, it is a storyboard that illustrates someone's life journey. So as the psychic begins to receive the information about a person's life, he can begin at the bottom of the circle where the house is when drawing events that happened in the past that concerns the person's health, financial, spiritual, relationships, emotional, mental well-being, fears, fantasies, hopes, and dreams. Then working around the circle clockwise to symbol different eras in someone's life. So when you look at this autograph here, this is joyful events in this person's life. So whenever, that was their childhood home, then you go to they had movement with the car, so they moved to a different house. Then they became knowledgeable in something. That's what the book is for. Then they got married, commitment, which is the ring. Then I put 3 Easter eggs in there. So they had 3 kids, 2 girls and 1 boy, where the story brought it. And then they began to have spiritual, chaos. They were kind of confused with their spirituality. So, but it became really good. They learned from it. So this is actually somebody's joyful event. So she learned from the chaos, right? She turned in something good, something bad into something good. Here is another autograph. And this is actually me. So I was practicing on this one. And again, it's life's joy. And I wasn't expecting, I never knew, whenever I practice, I never know how the autograph is going to turn out. But what's at the very top is me, of course. And I didn't know I was going to do that. But in the house at the top is my childhood home and different events that happened in my childhood. Then the second house is whenever I created my own family. And the rainbow is like spirituality. I'm finding myself, I'm creating a new life, and just movement at the very bottom. So, so you can do it in different ways. You don't have to do it the ways that I'm showing you, but you need to do it in the way that you're kind of being pulled to. All right, so here is a different way to do an autograph. So what you can use an empty shell, okay, like this, and you can create your own shell, but I wanted to still make a circle and divide it into parts. And you can use oracle cards. And the oracle cards kind of give you guidance. And again, oracle cards or tarot cards, whatever you use, still use your intuitiveness whenever you create it. So what you can do once you do that, you decide to use oracle cards, then you have your client draw 5 different cards, okay? And you can use whatever's on the oracle card. If you want to use the word or words on the oracle card for each space, you can do that. So on the left hand of the circle at the very top, it says, go with the flow, let things happen. That was actually on the card. But I was actually getting the symbol of a clock. And that's what I was getting intuitively about this person's life. So I was really feeling that the message here was she needed to live in the present. So if we go to the right, the second card I drew was Archangel Gabriel, creative and hope. So I was really feeling that she was needing help to be guided spiritually, not really earthbound, but really spiritually. So the message was ask for guidance, you are not alone. Now the circle in the middle of it kind of brings all of it together. So the fifth card is kind of bringing all the advice together. So the card said, Dolphins, don't worry, be happy. And I was really feeling that she needed to hear the message, enjoy life. Okay, so here is a different autograph. It is not in a circle. It is what I call free flowing. And I've really enjoyed these because you don't have to, squish your drawings up into or put it on the computer anyway, anywhere, but you can be more free flowing with your artwork. All right. And I really like this. It's still a picture story, but without the circle boundaries. Adding guidance information that is received during the reading makes the autograph more powerful to the reading. Okay. So, what it is when creating an autograph, the psychic needs to consider adding the following. What is his intention behind each way to convey the meaning? So, look at your colors, look at the movement in your pictures, whatever symbolizes that you feel. And I just felt like I needed to write. I did automatic writing in the river, and that's what I wrote for this person. And so there's not any place to go. And I did draw oracle cards for this, but I did not write the meanings down. I just kind of used my intuition to get all these symbols. Okay. And then I pulled it all together. And this was mainly, she wanted to know more information about her family to center in on it. So in the past, she was really sacrificing for her family. And then she became an empty nester. So things began to slow down for her. She wasn't having her day fulfilled that much because she wasn't busy. So she was having those empty times. So it's like find your motivation, find what works for you, find a hobby, find what makes you tick. So and be ecstatic about life, and things are going to fall into part. Okay. And then she wanted to know about grandchildren. So intuitively, I got this intuitively. Yes, you will have a grandchild, first a boy. It may surprise you which one of your children will have the first grandchild. Until then, enjoy life and enjoy being you. Okay. And children who are able to do this, and usually, again, 16-year-olds that are able to, deal with this or deal with the situations, they can definitely do this artwork. Younger children, they can use stickers. They don't have to draw, or they can find something on the computer, for fun. So it just depends on your child. All right, so here's another spirit autograph, and I had to use a bridge for some reason because I felt like this person needed goals in their life, and that would really help connect what was going on in their events. And I was feeling that there was some hidden truth in her family, that there was something going on. And I was getting addiction or something. And she wasn't with me whenever I did this. So I wasn't really able to ask her. So that's why I put addiction question mark. That there is definitely confusion. And to take the clarity, look and focus on different perspectives, that she may be looking at it too hard. And then transitioning, you see that little boat right there? There's someone that's manipulating the situation, and that's her being used as a puppet. So that's why I put a little stop sign, stand up for you. And then in the past, you felt good and you felt that you were in control, and all this has started happening. Okay. So present, you have bottled your feelings, emotions, need to feel them. So the main message there presently was she needs to feel her emotions so that she can move on during this transition. So I hope that makes sense. But yes, you can have a child do this, or 16-year-olds, man, they can draw really good. So, or even younger children can draw good. So, however you wanted to do this, and a child can just, talk about, what they feel about a person, and feel that intuition and see how close they are. And again, they can use stickers or they can use the computer. Okay, so in their drawings, what you may want to ask them, what shape are you going to use in your drawing? Okay, are you going to use lines going to be thick or bold or straight or jagged or round, square, or guiding things? You may have arrows all over your picture. So, whatever forms you have or whatever symbols they mean, you need to make sure that you understand the meaning behind it, the interpretation. The texture, are you going to use roughness or smooth whenever you do your drawings? Colors, look at that color dictionary. Do you feel that you need to use primary or secondary colors? What do these colors mean to you? And then different sizes mean different things. Whenever you're doing autographs, you may draw something small that's not significant, and then draw something large that really needs to be looked at, needs to be examined. So there are so many different things that you can look at whenever you're doing art. All right, so the next thing I'm going to talk about really takes a lot of practice, but kids can still do stick figures. And what I do is whenever I do some mediumship and they want me to use a likeness, I actually have an outline of a person's face. And I use that and I fill it in and I change things as I go. I can do a likeness drawing within 30 minutes now, because when I work at a psychic fair, I have to do it quick. But some children, they can be as creative as they can be. There are some programs, some apps that you can get, and they can complete portraits as well. But I always tell people these are likenesses. It's not a portrait, because a portrait takes forever. And I'm not that skilled in art. So I just do what Spirit wants me to do. So the first one, this was whenever I connected with Spirit. I don't know who she was. It was just a spirit that came in and wanted me to practice drawing. And she wanted me to draw dreadlocks. And that's one reason why she came in. And I just felt like she was such a sad person during her life. Now, the second one was actually a reading. And whenever I do a reading and whatever they want me to write, or whatever evidence that comes across as mediumship, I write on the side so that the person that's taking that I'm reading for can take this home. And if something doesn't make sense to them, they can look at it later and go, oh, that makes perfect sense. So it's just a way. And see that chalk behind them? They tell me what color I hear and I interpret what color that spirit wants me to put behind them. That's actually chalk. And so there again, you're connecting with spirit. And the child, again, as they get older, you can teach the child how to do this. And again, this is when I started doing mediumship. When I first started, I had to draw, I had to doodle to get that conscious mind out of the way for my subconscious, because I'd get real nervous and it was like I wasn't getting information. It was what we call Chinese torture. Yeah, that kind of thing. So it's just different ways that you can do spirit art. You don't have to you can create something different than what I've already shown you. There's so many ways. Art, you cannot go wrong, right? Okay, so let's go on to the next topic, which is dreaming. And which is so important that kids talk about their dreams because they dream so much. And they can draw about their dream, or they can do storytelling about their any type of artwork. But first I want to go over the different types of dream that they can have, because if they know what kind of dream it was, they know how to strategize. They know how to deal with it. They go, oh, that makes perfect sense. Okay. So precognition dreams gives dreamer information about future events. And this can be scary in itself, very scary. Okay. And many events have been determined. Like Abraham Lincoln experienced a precognition dream 2 weeks before he was assassinated. He described the dream to his family in which he saw himself in a casket in the East Room of the White House. Eerily, this was the exact location where the staff placed his casket after Abraham Lincoln died. So that is quite interesting. I love learning this. Now, in The Hidden Power of Your Dreams, which was written by Denise Linn, she claims that precognitive dreams will always have a round object somewhere within the dream. This round object will stand out. It will be like a signal, like something that you need to concentrate in a dream. These objects could possibly be a steering wheel, a ball, a round table, a round mirror, or a round picture. Okay, so clairvoyant real-time dream. It takes place in real time. A dreamer can experience feelings of another person at the exact time that they're feeling. So if you know somebody who had their puppy pass away at the same time the dreamer was dreaming, they may feel this person. They might see this person in their dream. All right, so telepathic dreams is easy. It states that a dreamer is able to communicate telepathically with another person in the dream. And sometimes they can telepathically talk to somebody who is dreaming at the same time and have the same dream. Think about that. So, dreams of other lifetimes. It will consist of a story that includes different languages, cultures that appear consistent. Okay. The dreamer will play the same character each time. Many people are able to heal from past traumas in these dreams and be able to live more in the present after that. Visitation dreams. Visitations can be from deceased loved ones, spiritual guides, masters, or astral entities. People can feel strong emotions and have physical symptoms after being visited in a dream. Many people have reported hearing a voice from an invisible person in their dreams. They can receive spiritual guidance and lessons through this voice. Now, lucid dreams. Dreamer is able to control his dreams. I guess, you know what, so that we can all read that. I'm going blank what it says. Lucid dreams. Dreamer is able to control his dreams since he is aware that he is dreaming. Okay. So children have this natural ability to experience lucid dreams since they do not have a history of learning limited self belief systems. A person can, I think this is so cool, a person can extend the dream boundaries and teleport to different location and can even learn different skills that you may never been able to reach, such as flying. Lucid dreams can have a powerful impact on children. I just think of, you know, the video games that kids are playing these days and having an avatar and learning, something I haven't ever learned, or the Matrix. That is really an interesting thing. Okay, so drawing and storytelling about dreams. Now, the one thing I forgot to mention is a lot of times children who experience sleep paralysis may also experience astral traveling or an out of body experience. So, if you are working with an intuitive child, there are different ways that this family can embrace that in their dream experiences. Because I don't know if you have had a sleeping paralysis happen to you. I have, and it is very scary. So there's ways that you can actually work through this. But the family, whenever a child comes to them about a dream, should always show an interest in the dream and not just whatever. The child can work through his dreams by storytelling, again, painting, drama, or music, depending on what they want to do. Explain what type of dream the child was having. So again, it will be really important for them to go, oh, I understand. I had that kind of dream. I had a lucid dream. Okay, I had a visitation dream. Keep an extensive dream journal, add pictures and explanation of each dream, because that way a child can go back and look at those dreams and say, oh, I remember what was happening during that time. Oh, I definitely remember. And it's very interesting how all of that will correlate. Okay, so I hope that you enjoyed. I know this was a long lesson. I should have said lessons, but I felt like it is very important for you to know and understand all of this so that you can actually create a program for the child. And that's what we're going to be talking about next time. But let's go ahead and do a review. So we talked about, yes, and that was probably a couple hours ago, about terminology and spiritual events. We talked about energy exercises, that yoga and breathing. And remember, bring it down to the child, make it fun, bring in the music, bring in props, whatever you need to do. If the child is very hyperactive, just bring something that can cause the movement. You might want one of these during even yoga and get them to stay still for a few minutes. Okay. All right. So feeling in control. These kids need to feel like they can control. If they have a crystal in their pillow at night and they feel like they're in control, let do it. Be awesome. So control protection elements. Okay. If they need to be involved in any ritual, that you do that clears the house, they need to be involved in it. And don't make it scary. Just say, we're going to clear out out the energy, make our house shining. You'll feel so much better when we do. So don't make it scary. And then expanding intuitive abilities through art. So I took you through different things start with the doodling. And if their children are ready to almost do a psychic reading, they can do autographs, they can do, pull out the oracle cards. But that is something that you work towards and for older kids and see if they are actually ready for it. And also that dream journal is so important so that the child understand what is going on in their life and understand the meaning of each dream. So, what we're going to do in lesson 3, you get to pull it all together. And that's when it becomes very, very exciting. You have lesson 1 already, doing all those intake sessions. Lesson 2, you've got all these strategies that you can use. Now, the third one, we're actually going to develop program with steps. Yes, everything has steps in it. You're going to go through different scenarios with me to create. And when I say scenarios, we're going to have 3 different children that are at different ages and different abilities. and we're going to create a program for them that you're going to give to the parents and make sure that they agree to it. You're going to be able to show to the parents how to get support, real life stories from psychic mediums who are practicing today, what they went through as a child and what they wish that they had, or, did that stunt their growth, their spiritual growth, or did it make them want to continue at a later time? How did it help them in their lives? So we're going to go through those real life stories. Now, I know it's hard to say, but whenever it's time to say goodbye, how to say goodbye, and then how to celebrate it. How do you celebrate with this family saying, "Oh my gosh, you've grown so much. I am so proud of you." So it's almost like, you've grown, they've grown into this beautiful blooming tree, and you're having to cut your branch off because you will no longer be in their lives. And so it's going to be hard because you get attached, but you need to celebrate and you need to stay detached until the family, until, a couple of years later, if they have a question or so. Because if you don't stay detached, they will call you every day until you come back into their life. So don't reinforce that behavior. Make sure you detach yourself from the family, celebrate, and say that goodbye. All right, so I hope I see you during the next lesson 3, where we pull all the puzzle pieces together and make this wonderful program. And I'm going to show you how to do it. And it's going to be awesome. You're going to be going, "Oh, I understand completely where this is leading." So step by step by step. So I hope to see you during lesson 3, and take care and many blessings.